Awesome date, January 26th, 2008. Awesome topic, ringing bells. Only not ringing bell. We're actually talking about a video game, not the awesome land murdering machine.
This isn't vague at all.
I know, but this is the OSMcast. Okay. Hey guys, and welcome to the OSMcast. I'm Basil.
I'm Lee.
I'm Douglas.
I'm Kevin.
And that's us.
You know, I can't think of the opening to our topic tonight without it blending into Slayer's music for some reason right now.
That's only because I was singing Slayer's music for like 5 hours until we started recording.
Yeah.
Yes, because we were waiting 5 hours for me to set up the laptop and microphone.
God, we were waiting 5 hours for you to set up the laptop and the microphone. What the hell, Basil? Why does it take you so long?
Well, you're so skilled at doing it that it only made it seem like 5 minutes.
I know.
It's okay. I passed the time by singing Slayer's song.
It's true.
I think we got all of them, in fact.
No, you only got like... Yeah, you got all of them. Yeah.
They just barely fit into 5 hours.
That's right.
Yeah, we
Because
finally
there's
got...
so many Slayer songs that fit 5 hours.
There really are. You guys didn't even hear me go into like all of the Zelos and Zelgadas image songs.
We're going to character songs too. Okay. All right, now I believe you.
Like, there aren't really as many gallery songs, but you know, I could whip those out too. You don't know.
The things Douglas can whip out.
Oh man, the things I can whip out.
Before that, we're going to whip out the contest.
What?
That's right, because we're having that contest that we're having.
The extremely vague and weird contest.
Yes, it's the Please Talk to Us contest.
It's the least depressing and least, feel pity for us contest ever.
Oh, that's the contest where they get to grab my ass if they win?
Oh, yeah.
Or we'll send them a picture of someone grabbing your ass if they win.
Somehow I don't think that's as big an appeal as grabbing my ass.
Well, then we'll have to think of something more awesome.
I've heard your ass is quite spectacular.
It is. It's really spectacular. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I'm sure the prize will be just as spectacular.
I don't know.
Now you may ask yourself, why OSMcast? What can I do to win such a fabulous and spectacular prize? Well, we'll tell you. There's many ways you can enter.
Whipping it out. Wait, no.
No, well, they can whip out our URL, OSMcast.com, and leave us a post, a comment, if you will, in the comment section. Or possibly, they could also send us an email at awesomecast@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail on the Awesome line. The area code is 206-202-0071.
So, anyhow.
Yeah, we're just gonna truck on forward onto the world of awesome now.
Just trucking on.
Just like vroom.
Driving a truck. Driving a big old truck.
Of awesome.
With my high heels
You know... never mind.
No, go on.
No, I was just going to talk about driving in high heels and then I remembered my penis. Go on.
Right. Yeah, ICV2 is announcing a graphic novel industry summit at the ICV2 Graphic Novel Conference at the New York Comic Con. ICV2 is like a website that announces like press releases and whatnot, and usually if there's major like comic book or manga news, it comes through the source.
Ah.
And And they're apparently going to be, due to the recent marketing conditions, going to convene this conference to help work out the whole, future of the graphic novel industry.
What was the economic blah blah blah?
Remember, graphic novels are doing really well. Next thing we know, Barnes and Nobles are not Barnes and Nobles, Walden Books are shutting down the world over.
Yeah.
Like our friend Charlie is now looking for a new job because ours just got shut down.
Oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. And I missed the clearance sale. They sell clearance.
And so they're probably going to have this, big thing during Comic-Con. Usually they do something where they do the state of the manga industry. But this sounds a little more serious, more like, let's help, keep the manga industry going. So that should end up being some interesting news when it actually happens.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, we broke actually a story about how they were planning on doing Walden Books and Barnes and Noble were cutting their manga shipments by 60%.
That sucks.
During the holiday season, so I figured it was a good follow-up because manga still, it's doing okay, but it's not doing as well as everyone's hoping.
I know. I like my manga. I like my manga.
Me too. Although I don't buy as much as the average person in my group.
No, you do buy as much manga as the average person in your
The
group.
problem is that the average is in our group is kind of skewed because Suze goes and buys like a new manga every day.
Yeah, she's totally blowing the curve.
So, like, I follow like 6 books, then I pick a new one. I pick it up every time a new one comes out. I think that's more typical.
Yeah.
I hardly ever actually get any actual manga, but
You're a failure, Kevin. You need to go get more manga.
I do. I just don't get out to the bookstore much.
They're like my courtesy bathroom reading material.
Yeah, mine too.
And apparently Production IG finished a new 7-minute Kill Bill sequence. I first thought maybe they're making more Kill Bill movies, but apparently Tarantino's like, or I can just film some anime and throw it as an extra special feature. That's what he's doing.
Oh.
They're doing another 7 minutes of the O-Ren stuff.
Because.
Just because? Are they going to put it on anything?
They're re-releasing the movie in a new special edition.
Oh, God.
And that's to be one of the new special edition things they're doing for it.
Extra special edition Kill Bill, now on one disc, twice as expensive, with an extra 7 minutes of anime. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tarantino. I've already got the movies and I don't need another.
Hey, if I can not get them on Blu-ray, I'm actually debating on it.
Well, yeah.
Because I really liked Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Until the day I win the lottery and get a PS3, that's moot to me.
I liked Kill Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I did. But I thought it was too bloody. And I know that's kind of weird saying that, I thought Kill Bill was too bloody, since that was kind of the point of Kill Bill.
No,
but
it was bloody.
I just... there's a lot of good things to say about Kill Bill. A lot of good things to say. But, whenever we say them, I just sort of feel that we need to put it out there that, it's stupid bloody, and for some of us who don't like things to be stupid bloody.
Yeah, that is definitely a hindrance to those who don't like stupid bloody, much like Hellsing Ultimate can be a hindrance to those who don't like
Whereas some of us who don't mind and kind of like the occasional stupid bloody,
enjoy the shit out of it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're free to enjoy that.
But,
It was quality despite the bloody.
Now, out of nowhere, Square has decided to remake yet another Final Fantasy, sort of, on the DS. Final Fantasy Legend 2 from the Game Boy.
Oh, I remember that game.
I
had that game back when it first came out.
Me too.
The second Saga game, as it actually is.
It was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing.
Now I've got to state that I love to death Final Fantasy Legend 3.
Yes.
3 is when they perfected it, got all their shit together, and had awesome pre-Chrono Trigger time-traveling-esque, even though there are only 3 periods to travel to, adventures.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I had that.
You had, like, the Talon as your awesome little ship, and they had this awesome music, and you went, rah, rah.
Yeah.
Isn't 2 the one with all the different worlds, and you're climbing this crystal tower thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was okay, but 3, to me, was the penultimate, or not penultimate, what the fuck am I saying? It was the awesome shit.
2 would be the penultimate.
Yes.
Because it came before 3.
Yes.
But 2 is, I know a lot of people really like 2. And it had some interesting ideas, like when, I think it was Thor that would resurrect you, until you killed Thor, and then you couldn't resurrect anymore.
I thought it was Odin.
Wow.
That's right, it was Odin.
But, you say tomato, I say shit.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was Odin,
That's
and
what
like as if you were to lose, the game, instead of the game over, Odin would resurrect you for a small penalty. But after you killed Odin in the game,
Yeah.
you no longer got that option.
Didn't you eventually
Oops.
climb to the place where you're normally resurrected and then kill Odin there? Or
Yeah, something like
that?
that, I think.
It's been a while since I played it.
But you had like options of like humans and mutants and robots and like chimerical beasts. The game had a stupid amount of options and probably was, way more than most of us who were weaned off at the beginning,
A lot of people didn't exploit the options just because it's hard to figure out what the crap is stronger, and you usually just
especially when it was on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
So in that case, it might actually be really good that it's on the DS because they're giving it the full,
The full
3D
workover?
the full 3D workover, where they got the original producers and they're getting all new character designs by Gin Kobayashi, and who worked on The World Ends With You.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's pretty
should be
good.
cool.
So, are they going to release it under the Legends name or the Saga name?
I would assume it would be Saga since
Because
they've been
they're
doing
correcting
Saga
everything.
stuff since
Yeah.
PlayStation era and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Saga Frontier. Only I loved you.
I'm gonna try it one day.
Hey, it lives on. It's sort of its last remnant.
Yeah.
A lot of the same guys on the 360.
Oh, I just like Saga Frontier because the only video game I ever played was Canon Yuri.
I must play
true.
this.
Like there
I've
is,
gotta fucking play this.
it's got canon lesbians.
Yes.
I could not stand to play the game with a hill of beans. Thankfully, Kevin bought it off for me for pretty cheap.
What game is
Yes.
Saga Frontier for the PlayStation.
PlayStation 1.
it? Oh.
I'm not even sure where it is, but I have it.
I remember I had this friend in middle school. It's like the other guy that played bassoon. He loved Saga Frontier. Like he would sit there and he would write on his desk, "Come to Saga Frontier."
Oh, it's like the,
If you like it, you either like
Yeah.
it. If you don't, you don't.
it's a horribly broken, messed up game that takes forever to learn the mechanics of, but it's interesting.
Can I borrow it, Kevin?
If I ever find it again.
I wonder if it's like stupid expensive off half.com on the internet now. Probably
I
is.
have not looked.
Well, yeah. IGN posted a story, which I got through Wired, about Winter, the game that never was. It was made by the InSpace, who did the game Geist for the GameCube, which was a first-person shooter where you actually had to take control of things in order to get through levels, like a dog or a gun turret or humans or whatnot.
Because you were a ghost.
Right.
Let's just
That's
put that
pretty
out there.
awesome.
And apparently it was going to be about a game where you had to survive this horrible snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, IGN posted a screenshot. It looked like really good for a Wii game.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it got a lot of really good initial buzz through Nintendo itself when the Wii was first getting off the ground. But now that they have gotten really, really good with the casual market and whatnot, they were like, we don't know about this anymore. And apparently looks like it may never actually ever get made. And it's still, I think they're still working on it, I think you might say, but they're not sure if it'll actually get picked up by anybody or Nintendo or anyone. So it's a crying shame because the Wii can also use more actual video games.
Exactly.
Nintendo, you're doing good on the DS, but more Wii games that aren't party games. Come on, guys.
I don't know. I'm kind of content to keep having all the games that I'm interested in come out on the 360.
Yeah.
But InSpace is sort of owned by Nintendo, so it's...
True.
But I already bought the damn Wii. Give me some more games I can play on it.
And I'm sort of the same boat. I would like to see more interesting games on the Wii that uses its unique controls,
yeah.
but not just a bunch of mini games.
Yeah.
I'd like to make use of both my 360 and my Wii.
And my PS3 while we're at it.
No, you don't get that.
Yeah, it's still the best Blu-ray player.
And the best PS2 player, at least mine is. Speaking of PlayStation, supposedly, this is total rumor, we might actually be getting the original Persona remade onto PSP.
Yay!
That's another point. That's another point in the favor of me buying a PSP.
It was apparently leaked by Hong Kong's magazine GameWave. They apparently leaked other things by accident, like the existence of Disgaea 2 Portable and the Mobile Suit Gundam Bonds of the Battlefield for PSP. Were actually both leaked through this magazine before it was actually
So it could
actually
be
announced.
legit.
So in fact, very much could be legit.
Which is good, because Persona's like $90 plus on the internet for PS1.
It claims the remake will retail in Japan on April 30th for 5,040 yen.
That's kind of cheap.
Will feature all new characters and scenarios. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of hoping because Persona is really, really hard to play because it looks incredibly dated.
Yes.
If you like wizardry, this is a good game for you.
Are they? I hope they're redoing some of the mechanics with it too.
The mechanics aren't like... Well, okay. The mechanics,
I would love for them to like give it like maybe the Persona 2 treatment where it wasn't in first person.
Well, the
That's
battles
just
weren't
me.
in first person. Well...
I hated...
Yeah.
Or if it's going to be still in first person with the same block, move thing, at least give it some life and personality to the level so they don't look like the exact same room over and over again. That would be really nice.
That reminds me of playing Phantasy Star 1 and getting lost all over the place.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of playing Persona 4.
Yeah, but Persona 4 at least got an awesome mini-map and real map.
True. The mini-map is
Yeah,
like
the
a
best thing
godsend.
Atlas could do is give me a one-button mini-map or put it right up in the corner, like a better mini-map.
Like, many times in Persona 3 and 4, I would actually navigate using the mini-map as my actual map instead of the game.
Yeah, that's actually what I do.
Yeah.
Because, you don't need to see the same walls over and over again. You get the idea the first 800 times you see them. And,
Though at least, in Persona 4, they vary up a lot more than in 3.
Well, I'm going to say something about Persona 4 that I know you guys are all going to, flail at. And that is that I think Persona 4 is going to end up looking very dated. Like, you mentioned that Persona looks dated. I think Persona 2 is going to look dated if it isn't already. I think 3 is eventually going to look dated. I think 4 is going to look dated. The whole series tries very hard to try to capture this style that is not a very... That's kind of a trendy poppy style, and I think in 10 years we're going to look back at the style of art that they use and go, that looks like something that was made in the aughts.
Well, they really don't seem to care, especially on the basis that they're releasing on the PlayStation 2 instead of the latest generation.
Well, that's true, too.
And actually, I don't think Persona 2 looks very dated at all.
Well, I've never seen Persona 2, so I can't
I
say
like
that.
1 still, but like I
And
said...
I don't know, I think by its keeping its unique look to it that might date it to the O's will actually keep it from looking really dated.
Really?
It might actually just capture its essence in time.
Well, let's hope that happens, because I just have a strong feeling that, we're going to be sitting here in 2018 going, man, that definitely looks like something that came out of the last decade.
Eh?
Well,
What was that?
I think it's going to survive better than, say, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Well, 7 wasn't really stylized so much as because it wasn't. It was just the generic anime style, but it was just the graphics weren't.
I believe that's
where we thought it was.
I believe that's why they're saying Persona 1 was dated due to the graphical.
And how Persona 3 and 4 might survive it.
Oh.
Because they're going for a specific style.
I don't know. We were playing something in here the other day. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that was made in the early 90s, and it showed.
Okay, you're about to diss Guardian Heroes,
showed.
and we're stopping right now. We're stopping right now. I will have no dissing of Guardian Heroes
I'm not
in my
dissing
podcast.
I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying it looked like something from the early 90s.
And you know what? Soda Slayers. Moving on.
What? No! You take that back! Slayers is timeless. Slayers is classic and is perfect.
Moving on.
They like
Speaking of the PSP and things that are already looking dated,
I need more.
we're
asshole.
getting an official game based off the movie Dragon Ball. And by game, I mean live-action movie Dragon Ball on the PSP. It's the only version of the Dragon Ball video game that they're making. It's on PSP, and it's the realistic one. And it looks god-awful.
Is it like Street Fighter, the movie, the game, awful?
But we'll put up screens, and links to where you can see more screens of it on the website. But we're looking at some pictures right now, and it looks
Is that Raven?
no.
Oh. Then why do I care?
I think that's Chow Yun Fat.
Who could be a good Raven, but that's a whole other issue.
We'll see how it goes, and it looks like a crappy toe ball before. We're not talking toe ball 2 or anything. We're talking
toe ball 1.
It's on toe ball 1 level here, and it's.
What's the next topic?
That was pretty much it. But speaking of Namco Bandai.
Yes, oh God, yes.
Man, Raven's good.
Oh God, is he good?
Our actual topic of tonight's conversation is a game by Namco Bandai.
Oh, yes! Oh.
Do we need to pause again?
Yeah, we need to pause.
Oh, hiccup.
Okay, kids, we can turn this podcast right around.
Yeah, I'm
Are you
good
good?
now. I'm good now.
Okay.
Okay, go on. I'm fine.
Tales of Vesperia.
Okay, serious this time.
Serious.
Tales of Vesperia.
Yay! I love Tales of Vesperia. Really, I love it.
All right.
And that's your podcast. Good night, everyone.
Reaching out for no man's land, to take a breath and take a chance, and walk 1,000 nights to change the world. Where to go, when to stop, who to trust, what to say. I found them all, just need someone to share. Snarling the dusk every day to carry on. Ain't so strong, I ain't so strong to go on. Living in the past is not the way to live. I wish you could hear me say that I miss you. Why were we there?
Play some. I get probably ring a bell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which version we'll find, the English or Japanese, but we'll find
You'll
something.
find the English version better than you'll find the Japanese version.
And they're both sung by the same person.
They both sound the same. I mean,
Yes,
Yep.
we covered this last podcast when
I like
Barry
both of
couldn't
them.
figure it out.
oh yes.
I
They're
like
both
both
Bonnie
of them.
Pink. They're both, the same person.
Yeah, it's not like when they do the crappy get some English singer to try to sing the same songs like they used to do with what company was it that did that all the time? Where they dubbed anime and got some obnoxious sounding English poor.
Are you talking about the people who did the lunar translations?
Working design?
Working
The
design.
Lunar ones were
Yeah,
good.
the lunar ones were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times they did have to change like the song like radically and completely.
Mhm.
But
they sounded.
they really tried to keep the same spirit of the song.
I was thinking more like the ones where they on the DVDs of like Rurouni Kenshin and stuff, where they've tried to change the.
Oh yeah.
It's like.
Of course, then they get things like Wild Arms, where they took out the Japanese vocals
And
instead putting whistling. It actually sounded way better.
yes, and Wild Arms 2, actually, they took out the vocals, and you could hear the badass guitar riffs, and it sounded really awesome. So,
Wild Arms 3, they sung English, but there was a way to make it randomly do it the songs in the Japanese version that I never really figured out.
Well, I remember the Magic Knights Rare anime. They had a song that was done in English, and it was lol-tastic.
Yeah.
Tomorrow soon, we'll be here.
Yes.
That's why I watched it in Japanese, folks.
I liked it. Oh, stop.
But that's not what we're talking about tonight.
No, we're talking about Vesperia, which is the greatest game that you're not playing. I don't know why you're not playing it, but if talking to people on the internet has taught me anything, it's that you're not playing it, and you really should be.
See, Susie's obsessed with this game like I was with Persona 3. It's like that kind of a good game, where you could really get into it and sink your teeth into it, and has The most awesome characters ever, but it's a Tales game, so what do you expect?
This is the game that made the Xbox 360 sell in Japan.
It made the Xbox 360 sell out in Japan.
Yes.
Most people in Japan sit there and debate whether or not this is the best Tales game in comparison to the old school games. Like, they're not even comparing it to Symphonia anymore. They're comparing it to, like, Fantasia, you know,
Destiny.
the one in Destiny, you know, the ones that they're never going to beat because those two now have the power of
Nostalgia glasses.
Yes.
Man, I liked Eternia, a.k.a. Destiny 2.
Well, this is, the 10th game in the Tales series.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing since this series started on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately went on to PlayStation 1, and there's already 10 of them.
Well, they're typically good games, except for Crap India, but we're not going to talk about Crap India. Well, I guess we should talk about Crap India so that you guys know which game not to touch.
I think it's called Legendia.
Legendia. Or
They actually
Legendia,
made a game called Tales of Legends. Well,
Legendia.
Tales of Legendia, but it's terrible. I hated that game so badly. Like, I just played Symphonia, and so I was all up on, like, this new Tales game, and then I played Tales of Legendia, and it was awful. And then Abyss came out, and Abyss isn't so bad. Like, Abyss I can actually like. I wish I'd played more of it. And then Vesperia came out, and this is like God's gift to video games. Well, God's gift to JRPGs.
I would say more God's gift to Tales games. Like, I think this is just the best iteration of the Tales formula they've done yet.
And I love me some cracked out or non-cracked out JRPGs in general, and this is way up there, if not at the top of the scale of the greatness of those JRPGs. And it's just it's got everything. It's all around kick ass.
Now, Tales does a couple of things different than what we're used to in most JRPGs.
Yes, we need to get that cleared out first.
Like, first off, it unlike a lot of our early, JRPGs or like things like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy's original art style was very much, Amano. Mm-hmm. So it was very wispy and whatnot. Not what you would consider general, what anime to be. Dragon Quest is very much, Akira Toriyama. Which is Dragon Ball, but his style is not, what you normally consider anime style. You consider Dragon Ball, and it's so well tied to Dragon Warrior that it's its own unique look that's separate from everything else. Tales was one of the first series to really at least that we ever got exposed to that really had that actual anime vibe to it, because they got one of the major character designers,
Kosuke Fujishima. You may know him from Oh My Goddess or You're Under Arrest.
Although I would argue that Phantasy Star beat them to the punch. Phantasy Star had some really anime-esque.
You're right.
Like 80s anime.
And if anyone actually ever played them, it would have,
Oh, that hurts.
I know Phantasy Star 4 different ways.
Yeah,
Phantasy Star 4-way.
Yes.
But yes, you have a great point. I just wanted to point out for those who may have played Phantasy Star that. Okay, never mind. Go on.
Indeed.
But that's just one of the things. The other big thing was its fighting system is completely different.
Yeah, the fighting system is radically different. It does. If you've never played a Tales game before, it
or
does
a Star
take.
Ocean game.
Yes.
Play Star Ocean, it's very similar to that.
Yeah, but if you've never played those two, if you're just used to the turn-based RPs, or even if you're used to like the Kingdom Hearts style of real-time RP, it's a little bit different. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Now, as I've said, I've played all the Tales games that have been in the 3D setting, and I personally think that Vesperia is probably the best action system that they've put forth yet.
Yeah.
Now, the way it works is, at least in the original ones, you, instead of having turn-based battles, it was all real-time, but it was set on a flat, 2D plane. So it was almost like playing, let's say, like a fighting game, only you were, you could actually swing, when you swung your sword, you would cast, you would have your charge, you'd cast your match attacks all in real time. You actually had sort of an action component as well as the, strategy elements to it. And usually your compatriots were AI controlled, and you could issue them commands. Overall, it was you control one character, and the other ones backed you up.
Well, if you're playing it right, you're telling them all what to do all the time anyway, so...
Or you've got it set up where you don't need to.
Well...
And, the only two real game systems that really did it was Star Ocean and, Tales, which is interesting because they were both originally, Wolf Team, which was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made by the same little team group.
Has it since split off?
Yes.
They split off actually because of Tales of Fantasia. They ran out of money, and Namco was willing to produce it, but they want a lot of changes to the game formula. And the ones who didn't agree with it went off to form Star Ocean with Enix, and formed Tri-Ace, and the other teams stayed on and formed the Tales team.
So, now Square Enix owns Star Ocean, and Bandai Namco owns
Tales.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then when they moved on to Symphonia on the GameCube, they introduced a 3D element to it, where you could actually, it wasn't just the flat 2D plane anymore, you could actually move around more so.
But in Symphonia, the 3D plane was real primitive. And it played, you could play the entire game as though it was a 2D game, like it was so primitive. However, in Legendia, the fighting system had a major upgrade, but it was almost like it was an upgrade that was almost like a step back, because they actually went out in Legendia and they got like an actual fighting game team.
Yeah, the Soul Calibur team.
Yeah, they got the Soul Calibur team to help them design their fighting stage. And that helped and hurt in a lot of ways, because it played like a fighting game. It almost played a little bit too much like a fighting game for an RPG where you're trying to do multiple characters with strategies and having actions built in. In Abyss, they came out with it's the same fighting style that they use in Abyss, that they use in Vesperia. The difference is that just like all the little quirks that were present in Abyss kind of got smoothed through for Vesperia. This is sort of more like version 2.0.
My only real complaint with the Vesperia control system is I found jumping almost useless.
Yeah, that is true.
That's been a problem in all of the 3D Tales.
I eventually got where, screw it, I'm just going to go sneak up behind him and beat the shit.
I remember in Tales of Destiny some awesome running, flying, jumpy, stabby action, and I kind of missed that.
Yeah, I kept trying to do that in Vesperia, but I just learned that holding up an attack did better.
Yeah.
And you can always jump by using moves that propel you in the air.
True. Mostly Judith. But
well, no, Raven's a lot of Raven's strategy is knowing exactly where your enemy is and knowing exactly how the attack that you're about to do hits and positioning yourself in such a way.
Put you in the air where you want.
Yeah, like you do something that'll throw Raven up into the air. You do something else that'll cause him to shoot down. And
oh yeah, like by chaining the specific attacks together to
So, whether or not it's the 3D or not, that fighting system has strung the Tales game along, and now that we're into the newer generations, it's gone all 3D and
it's a much better fighting system if you really hate the turn base of traditional RPGs.
Man, I love me some menu bashing,
which are basically just menu surfing.
Uh-huh.
I love me some menu surfing, but Tales is really fun too.
I actually have a hard-on for both styles for different reasons. But when you get tired of that old attack, you can really sink your teeth into running around and beating the hell out of things.
I kind of like this system better, and I did grow up, eating the Final Fantasies, that kind of surf through the menu to find your attack and cast. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm playing these, I really like this system better. But
I have to admit, the random battles hold my attention better with the... I actually have to do something and try to get over there and hit them instead of just going, attack. Okay, next fight.
Yeah, I started eventually, even didn't say screwing it, put it on auto and left it alone.
Well, for your average random...
You mean you don't even fight the battles, you just let your guys run around and kill things?
Yeah.
What kind of grade did you guys get at the end of the game?
I didn't care.
I totally grade farmed, but I was doing okay. But I totally grade farmed towards the end with redone Tidal Wave.
And I haven't gotten to the end yet, but I think my grade's pretty good. I mean, I'm getting ups all the time and doing pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, the grade system. I do want to mention that for people who've never played a Tales game before, but at the end of each battle, you're judged on how well you did by a lot of different variables, and you get grade. And in other Tales games, you can use that to buy just stuff later on.
It's like a currency almost.
Yeah.
The currency of awesome.
Exactly. In Vesperia, what the grade is used for is when you start a new game plus, you have to buy what you want to keep from this game with the grade. Like, if you want to keep all of your skills and abilities, you've got to pay something like 100 grade. Yeah, something like 1,000
Like 1,000
grade.
to keep all your skills, 1,000 to keep all your techniques, or you can pay less for individual characters.
Yeah.
For example, what do you remember what your grade was, like, the first time you beat the game?
It was something like 3,000 the first time I beat the game, and I didn't do any grade farming, I just did everything.
So is 3,000 a lot, then?
3,000 did not buy me everything that I wanted. I probably should have...
6,000's pretty decent for that.
Yeah, 6,000 is probably, can buy you everything.
I'm just wondering what the average person on an average playthrough
I would
probably
estimate the average person would probably get about 2,500.
Mm.
You know, is what I would just...
Yeah. I mean, there are some wacky stuff, like experience that drops your experience to, 1 point, and you get the rest of your experience through the bonus experience.
Yeah.
Something that gives you 10 times normal experience. It's just
all
totally
whether you want
broken.
a challenge or whether you want to go
But this, we're talking about now the very, very, very end of the game.
Yeah, we should go into the meat of it.
Let's go back to the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What is Tales of Vesperia?
In the beginning.
There was this world called Terra...
It's called Terca Lumeris.
And
Yeah.
it is in many ways a standard JRPG world. What sets it apart are the characters and situations they're in a lot.
I would say the world's a little different than the average.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
you got all the cities that all the people live in that have the magic force fields to keep all the monsters out that will totally kill everybody if they have a chance.
Well, while that is unique in a way, it's not exactly fresh and new in some instances.
I would say the Blastia is.
Yeah, the difference is going to be the interpretation of the Blastia. For example, you don't have any you have mages in the world, but the mages don't just cast spells. The mages work with Blastia, which is basically the term Blastia in Vesperia is basically interchangeable with technology. It's a very specific incarnation of technology.
It's technology powered by magic.
Yeah.
By
Or air.
AER. Air.
Which is their term for magic.
There's air in the air.
You don't just cast magic spells in this world. You actually have to have a Blastia as well as programs to run through the Blastia.
Kind of reminds me
Or
of
formulas, rather.
It's very magical and yet very high-tech.
kind of reminds me of the approach they took in the anime Nanoha, but I think I'm the only one who's seen that.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it soon. Susan's has the whole thing downloaded.
But it's
Cool. Watch it.
it's
It's
the kind
awesome.
of thing of they basically imply that the main character could theoretically do magic if he could ever bother to remember any of the formulas for his Blastia. He just can't. He just
Kind
prefers
of
to use his
running
sword.
gag.
Well,
to the
there's also different kinds of Blastia that people
Yes.
use. And the Blastia is usually, one kind of Blastia is not going to do the things that other Blastia can do.
Right.
And even Blastia of the same type might be tailor-made for certain situations that other ones would not
Really,
be.
the main character's Blastia is more around letting him perform superhuman feats of strength and agility and stuff.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But anyhow, let's start with the main character, because the main thing about this game really is the characters. The characters are just so there's just so much to the characters. By the time you're done with the game, you should feel like you know these characters really, really, really well.
You're wondering why you don't have them on speed dial on your cell phone.
Yes. In fact, I was.
Where's
Why won't Yuri
Raven?
pick up? Why won't Yuri pick up?
Raven never returns my calls anymore.
Do you remember his phone number? I can't find it.
But let's start with
Let's start with Yuri.
Yuri Lowell.
Yuri Lowell is the main character of the game. And I have to say that I thought that he was a real nice refresher from what you generally expect as a main character hero. Because he does kind of have this, I'm the silent loner, I'm the silent lone wolf badass character that, I just can't tolerate authority and he's a rebel. But at the same time, he manages to do this while still being talkative and friendly.
He's a personable guy despite his angst against the man and the machine.
And he's also not the typical dumb as a box of rocks swordsman that is your usual Tales game hero.
Yes. So he manages to not be Lloyd while not being Cloud.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing feat.
Yes.
It's a thing all because he's kind of sarcastic.
Yeah, he is very sarcastic.
But he's still very much a hero, even though he's got these anti-hero qualities about him.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I think that's a large part of the game is Yuri's anti-hero qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Because despite, on the cover, there's this blonde guy. And he's actually in front of Yuri on the cover.
Man, the cover is so deceptive.
I
was
know, the blonde guy is Flynn, and Flynn is Yuri's best friend. And the cover would have you believe that you get to play Flynn. And you do. A little bit.
For like one fight.
Yeah. It's like... But really, Flynn is still really important to the plot.
He's really, really important.
He's pretty much Yuri's foil because he's what you usually think of as the standard hero of an RPG.
Well, you could also say that Yuri is Flynn's foil.
Well, yeah, but since Yuri's the main character, you're usually looking for someone to... Well, yeah, go ahead.
The thing is that both of them are very important as they sort of represent this whole sort of...
doing things totally by the book and doing things from outside the rules kind of
Well,
attitude.
it's more like how they complement each other. Like, I really think that the point that these two characters were trying to make is that you have to have somebody who stays in the rules and who is good, like Flynn is, and you have to have somebody who's willing to go into the shadows and be a little bit darker.
You're looking more like Flynn's Batman, Floyd is Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you're really looking at here.
Floyd?
Yeah, he said something.
Flynn.
Wait,
Well,
who's
You
who?
said Flynn and Floyd. Where's Yuri?
Yuri is Batman.
Yuri
Flynn.
is Batman.
Okay, all right, pause. All right, I'm gonna redo this. All right, Yuri is Batman, and Flynn is Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good...
Actually,
Pretty
really,
good parallel.
it actually really reminded me of the dynamic of the two main characters from the manga and Sanctuary, where one is going to fix the system by becoming a politician, and the other one's going to fix the system by becoming a yakuza.
Yeah.
And the thing is you really can't have him on your team because they wouldn't get along, and they get along, but their very
methodologies,
strange, not getting along, having different ideals way.
their methodologies are totally different.
So, one of them needs to be doing one thing, the other needs to be doing another thing, and then they meet and clash, and you have the foil.
Well, you keep talking about their meeting and clashing, Lee, and where was that? Because Flynn
The very
and Yuri...
first time they meet,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
like the first time, minor spoiler warning, the first time you meet him, it's a fight scene.
And I don't mean clashing necessarily as a fight.
It is.
Yeah, but they go at each other in a very friendly, joking manner.
There's
You have
also a
For their
serious...
throats, but yes.
You have to
That's pretty humorous. I mean, I don't think they were really going all out. Now
Okay,
they,
guys, we're going to have to stop, and we're going to have to play the game because you're both wrong.
That's kind of smacking of elitist there, Susie.
I know.
And I'm right. So
Okay. Let me clarify. I don't mean clashing as in literally crossing swords, even though it does happen. I mean they have their differences.
technically,
Okay.
I had an axe.
Yeah, but they do have a lot of ideological arguments throughout the game.
They're brothers is the reoccurring theme over and over. Even though they want to go different routes, at the very basic, they both always support each other. At the very end of the game, that is a huge, major issue that, there are things that Flynn, who's a good stand-up knight, cannot shoulder, and there are burdens that Yuri, who's the dark vigilante hero, cannot shoulder.
Yeah.
But the two of them together can take all of this.
Yes.
I certainly enjoyed that Yuri in the game made more than at least a few morally questionable decisions over the course of the game, and it did not immediately hand wave it away as, oh, that's fine, he's the main character. They actually would bring that up later, and is that really the right thing to do?
Well,
And there were some instances
I felt they actually
where
didn't do it enough.
Yeah. Like, I
Like-
too felt that there are some things that Yuri did that they should have wag their finger at him a little more. But hell, there were some things that Raven did that they should have wagged their finger at him a little more.
Yeah.
But the general Yuri's plight is that we mentioned earlier there's these cities, and they're protected by these what is known as barrier blastia,
which are huge versions of the other blastia that keep the monsters out.
by generating gigantic force fields. And it just so happens that there's another blastia, we'll call it the aqua blastia, because it handles the
That's what it's
That's what
called.
it's called.
waterway systems. Leave me alone. Of
The host, Basil, will
it
call
controls the water systems of the capital city, its lower quarter where Yuri lives. And someone goes off and steals it, and Yuri's like, "Oh hell no, I won't get my blastia back."
Yuri's very much a hometown boy, as I think that's even a title that you can get for him.
Yep.
But he very much loves the place where he grew up, which is the lower quarter of the capital city of the Empire.
Zophius, I believe it's called.
It is. And, Zophius kind of has this tier social system. It's like there's the lower quarter where Yuri's from, and then
Polo
there's...
people,
All the poor kids in town.
Yeah, and then there's the middle quarter, which you don't really see much of.
because it's not such a stark contrast to lower
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah, it's just
It just doesn't matter
the
to the
middle
plot.
class.
Doesn't matter to the plot.
And then there's the sleaze bucket. Well, they're not all sleaze bucket. Most of them are portrayed that way. Upper class who
Who
like to
basically...
sneer and look down on the...
Yeah, they're so rich that it doesn't occur to them that they have to be nice people anymore. For the most part, you do meet some
Exceptions.
nice ones,
It's
like
true.
Estelle.
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 I have to say, I love Estelle. I think she's awesome.
She's
Yeah.
the best character of her kind.
Estelle occupies the role that, well, for one, she's the heal battery. Like, she's your best healer in the game. You get her the second character. She's the second playable character that you can get. You rescue her from, like, Yuri gets thrown into jail for various reasons. That's actually, while Yuri's in jail, is the first time you actually meet Raven, but he sort of just kind of acts like a shady old man and walks off.
You don't really get a good look at him, too, until he drops an item, and that's only for an instant, so...
But anyhow, and
Acts. He is a shady old man, but yeah, go along.
But as Yuri's escaping, thanks to Raven's help, he meets up with Estelle, and Estelle's running from guards too. And they meet, and they turn out that they're both friends of Flynn, and they're going
Yes.
to go see Flynn.
In fact, she's looking for Flynn. It is like, you know Flynn too? Yeah, do you know Flynn? Huh?
Biblically, let's go.
And then biblically is not canon.
No.
Well, it turns out that looking for Flynn and searching for the Aqua Blastia is the same
They
general,
keep intersecting with each other. Yes.
same general
Yeah.
path.
And that Flynn has indeed told Estelle some things about Yuri so that she knows to watch out.
Yeah.
But the general plot, until you get further onto the game, is Yuri trying to find where the Aqua Blastia went.
Just so
and
the
Estelle
toilets will work
trying
back
to
home.
find out where Flynn went.
And it's a driving point that allows you to have character building, situation building, and nice plot move along for the first part of the game.
But Estelle is essentially this game's incarnation of the Colette. That she's the super sweet, nice girl. But she's possibly the best incarnation of this that I think I've ever seen.
Yes.
She's real easy to tolerate, she's real easy to actually warm up to, and you start to really like her pretty quickly.
And I think her character is hilarious.
Well,
Yes.
I think one of the best things of Vesperia is they tend to take annoying stereotypes and make them
good.
likable.
Yeah, sort of like how I was saying that Yuri is the
Like if you
the gruff lone wolf, only he's friendly.
It's
Estelle is the...
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like comparing Squall to Yuri is like comparing all those. I mean, there are numerous staff chicks, if you want to call them,
Yeah.
the healer stereotypes, which are the annoyingly pure as innocent snow and all that.
Yeah, it's kind of like you go, okay, what's the annoying character stereotype? And then you look at the Vesperia incarnation of it, and you go, oh, well, that's what everybody else has been trying to do all
Yeah,
this
here's
time.
how they do it right.
She actually is sweet and kind, and you like it, and you believe it.
She is naive, and she has these little moments where she's just, doesn't understand how the world works, and it's actually cute rather
Yeah.
than being
But
obnoxious.
she also
Of
does
course.
occasionally pull out weird random information nobody else knows.
She's book smart.
Because she's done nothing but read almost
And
her
also,
whole life.
unlike many of them, when you explain it to her, she understands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
obviously actually not stupid. She's just book learned, and that's it.
Yeah, like one of the scenes as soon as Yuri and Estelle get out of the castle is Estelle shows Yuri how to shake hands, and Yuri shows Estelle how to high five. And forever, throughout the entire rest of the game, she's trying to get the other characters to give her a high five. It's adorable and precious.
And most of it occurs at the end of battle scenes, which I want to mention is this game, one of the beautiful things about it are the details.
Yes.
It packs in so many wonderful details, especially with the characters. Like you beat a battle, and your characters will interact on stuff that's instead of like other games that say, okay, let's have 15 different into the battle quotes throughout the whole game. That's it. This one says, no, what's been happening recently? Let's make them react to that. Let's make them talk over. And there are little details where you just have the characters.
Yeah, like when you finally get Rita in your party, like this is back to the Estelle high-fiving thing. When you finally get Rita into your party, Estelle tries to give Rita a high five at first, at the beginning part of the game, and Rita won't do it, like she doesn't get it. A little bit later, Rita will actually hold up her hand for Estelle to high five with her. Near the end of the game, like both of them will hold up their hands eagerly to high five each other.
And Rita will look all smug and proud about it. So.
Yeah, I mean it's just like throughout the entire thing. There's little things like that.
And this is all taking place after you've beaten a battle. It's not a scripted event. So it's a little touch that you notice and go, that's awesome. They're like growing.
Depends on what characters you have in your party, what's going on, what happened in the battle, who got the last blow in.
You also get things like the skits,
Yes.
which are
Tail standards.
which is tail standards, which isn't in any other RPG.
Now they're now also the skits are also voice acted in this time, so you don't have to sit there and squint and like try to read what these little text things are saying. They're voice acted for you, and they're voice acted beautifully.
And
Yes.
what happens is, as you're playing through the game, you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner,
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
like that.
you'll see
Bottom
like
left.
I think it's the back button, and you press it, and it'll have a little title, and then suddenly it'll pop up character portraits where they'll talk to each other about various things that have happened.
Yeah.
And it's usually timed for the actual situation at hand.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when Yuri and Estelle were escaping from the castle, they had a couple of, depending on which room they were in, they'd have a different conversation.
Yeah.
Like, depending on, hey, they're breaking into, say, a hallway versus the kitchen, or, like, a soldier's room or something.
Yeah.
But some are set up by where you are in the game, some are set up by what you're doing, like if you've cooked something particularly horrible, or a character has been wearing a certain outfit for a
I
length
love
of time.
those. By the way, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Judy's outfit, where it's one of I can't. It's a spoiler. Never mind. I'm going to ask after the podcast. Let's keep going.
Well, we'll eventually get to a spoiler section because
And then
I
I can-
cannot do a Vesperia podcast without
Okay.
talking about some of these spoilers. But I want to get through the other characters first.
Yes.
We've got others. Hey, let's...
Carol. Talking about archetypes that you think are going to be obnoxious. Carol is a prime example. He's
Carol.
about 12.
I thought I would hate Carol when he joined
He's the
my
best
party.
example of Naruto ever.
He's this
No, that's Black Star.
he's this obnoxious little kid that you think, oh God, now I have. Oh wait, we forgot to mention repeat. We'll come back to repeat.
Repeat.
You have Yuri the badass loner, Estelle the staff chick, Repeat the dog, and then you get Carol the obnoxious
Shota
little
boy.
kid. And you just expect, like, to hate Carol, but you never do. Like, he never actually becomes obnoxious. He actually goes the other way, probably because he grows up a lot.
Yeah, he becomes really endearing because you can see him growing up, and it kind of grows on you, and you go, oh, Carol.
Although I've known a lot of people out of the entire cast, if they have a character they don't like, it tends to still be Carol.
Yeah, if
Well-
there's somebody they don't like. Although most people I've met generally tend to say, oh,
Yeah.
well, I liked everybody.
They're awesome.
Well, Carol is the little Shota boy, and some people really don't like that, but...
Well, it's more that they still found him to be the annoying little kid.
Mhm.
Like, they didn't find him to be endearing, they still found him to be annoying.
But even on that scale, he's the least annoying little kid ever.
Well,
I
yes.
think that actually has something to do with the maturity of the audience.
Probably that they
you know,
don't. They can't see.
Because it's been my observation that it seems like the older you are, the more endearing Carol is, which makes a lot of sense. Like if you consider some of the other characters' interactions.
Mm-hmm. There were people I talked to around our age, so.
I think Carol's endearing. I'm older than all of you, so there you go.
There you go.
Like,
There you go.
I'm not dissing Carol. I like Carol. I'm just saying that, out of all the characters, if anyone's ever mentioned, it tends to be him.
Well, still. But anyhow, I totally passed over Rapide, and this is a huge mistake because Rapide is something of pure magnificence.
He doesn't exactly.
He's just a dog.
That's the magnificence.
Like,
Yuri and Rapide will sit there and have these conversations where Yuri is just talking to Rapide, and Rapide is just acting like a dog, like he's
Bark, whine, woof,
whine, scratching his ear. And other people will come up to him and they'll go, Yuri, can you actually understand what Rapide's saying? And Yuri's like, no, he's a dog. And then look at them like they're crazy.
Yeah. After
Rapide is the awesomest looking dog ever. Because he's got a scar over one eye.
Smoking a pipe.
Looks like he has a jug of alcohol on him.
He doesn't fight with like his teeth and claws. He fights with a dagger that he carries in his mouth.
Because he has pride.
Yeah, Ken much bet you it's a grizzled old samurai veteran who just happens to be a dog at the same time.
I love how his sword hangs like off his shoulder at just the right angle where he could twist his head back and pull it out with his teeth. It's awesome.
It's like, sometimes you don't, like, I thought one of the biggest letdowns of the game was that they never really went into Rapide's past too deeply. Like, they give you little hints here and there.
They, explain that, both Yuri and Flynn knew Rapide's previous owner, and that
something that he had is a memento.
The
pipe is a memento from
he
his
doesn't
old
really
owner.
spike it. Or he doesn't really smoke it, he just keeps it because he likes it.
But
because otherwise you'd wonder how he'd light it.
But you just kept expecting something to happen, and it turned out for Rapide to be this great mystical samurai or something that had been cursed. But no, he's just a dog.
He's just Rapide.
He's just a dog.
Just a dog who will.
We have, Rita, the smart alecky.
Yes.
Teenage.
Yet another character
magic chick.
Yeah, speaking of characters that people claim are their least favorite is Rita, but I happen to really love Rita.
I actually, Rita was the character that when I got her, I thought, oh great, I'm going to hate this character too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really don't like 15-year-old girls. I feel that 15-year-old girls are bratty, they're obnoxious. I know of many people that were 15-year-old girls and were bratty and obnoxious, and most of them grew out of it. By the time they hit 16, 17, 18, they grew out of being terrible. And Rita is terrible. She really is. I can't defend her on this one.
I think I would really dislike her in real life, but only by virtue of that she's, in a lot of ways, a typical 15-year-old girl.
But there are two factors that negate this, I think. One of which is she's hilarious, watching her interactions with the other characters.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the fact that she acts so much like an actual 15-year-old girl is actually kind of endearing.
Yes. And two, like Carol, she gets an assload of character growth and interaction.
She does.
And again, grows on you, and you care about her.
Mm-hmm. You really do. Although she is the most likely to turn to physical violence against her own party members, as
15-year-old girls likely are.
And if they're bigger than her, she may just hit Carol instead.
Or Raven.
Or set them on fire.
Or Yuri.
Or set them on fire.
I never saw her hit Yuri.
In fact, I noticed several times in the game, Yuri made some sort of comment to Rita, and Rita's reaction to Yuri's comment was to hit Carol or smack Raven.
Or set them on fire.
I guess she's done it at least once.
Huh, maybe she has.
I don't remember it, but
I just tend to remember her setting people on fire.
For all of you people who like Yuri, Rita is your character.
Yuri as in the
Yuri
girl,
as
girl,
in
not
hot
the
girl
character.
on girl action.
That's
not
right.
Yuri the character.
Now, Rita is not a lesbian in the game, but it's very obvious that Rita has a girl crush on Estelle over the course of the game. At first she can't stand Estelle. She doesn't even want to talk to Estelle. But as the game goes on, she starts to really like Estelle, and it's really more like, how I said in the beginning that Yuri and Flynn were like brothers? Mm-hmm. You really see a sort of sisterly bond develop between Rita and Estelle, and it's really, really, really cute.
Yes. and if you put on your slash goggles subtext, look for subtext. It's not increasingly hard to see affection there either.
The subtext is there. You just have to embrace it.
Well, the
and
subtext
go
is
with
there
it.
for Yuri and Flynn too.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Just look at the internet.
But there's also subtext between like Rita and Raven,
Oh,
Rita
yeah.
and Carol,
Yeah,
Judith and everyone.
yeah. There's
Estelle and
subtext.
Repeat. I mean, if you go by subtext,
Man, there's
you're
a love-hate relationship.
You're just gonna dig
Yeah.
yourself into holes you
I
don't
think
want
you've
to
hit
dig.
the ultimate Vesperia crack pairing there, based on...
Moving on.
Ultimate Vesperia crack pairing. I think Judy and Baul is up there.
Oh!
Judy is the human personification of the term coy.
Yes. She's basically an elf. They're called the Kritia in this world, but they're basically elves.
They just have little extra antennas that come off the back of their head.
I thought that was part of their hair.
No, it's antenna. They
Oh.
actually refer to them as antenna.
Never mind. You're right. What was I going to say?
They do look a lot like hair.
They function as elves, but they avoid a lot of. Well, no, they don't. They have a lot of the elf stereotypes.
All the rest of them kind of follow the elf stereotypes.
But
Judy's
Judith does
weird.
not.
She's
Judith,
not, but she does function as the fan service stereotype.
She does. She wears a bikini. They're constantly talking about the fact that she's wearing a bikini.
and even Estelle's like, oh, to be like Judith. 'Cause
Yes.
she's
They're
busty.
bouncing.
Yeah, that's
I
actually
wish I could bounce.
that actually is an end-game skit of Estelle noticing how bouncy Judy's boobs are, and Judy wanting to know what Estelle is talking about.
Which is interesting considering when you
And I-
first meet the character, she's
I-
wearing fully enclosing armor and you can't even tell that it is a girl.
Yeah.
Well, that's getting to spoiler territory.
Yeah, I was going to ask something about that, but then I
But-
didn't because it's spoilers. But
we finally, because we need to wrap up our characters, we're going way too long on this.
This is kind of sad that with a finally
there's
we're getting to
Raven.
Raven.
And there's Raven.
Oh, Raven. Oh, you guys are gonna have to talk about him because
Okay,
I'm just gonna
let me-
spaz out if I try to talk about him.
let me go for it. Raven is a shady old man that you recurringly meet throughout the game, who eventually joins your party, who none of the other party members
Well,
trust.
we might join the party. We don't want to spoil things. Like, it's a very important thing that you don't know if he's going to join your party until, halfway through the game.
He's definitely a shady old man who it's not entirely clear why he's there.
He's
why
not just a shady... He's a shady man of the cantankerous old age of 35.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Which is ancient for a JRPG.
And if I hadn't been told otherwise, I would have thought he was at least like 40 or 45.
Yeah, they act like he's much older than he is.
But he is a humorous old devil who's like a trickster, and
He does most of the best lines, most of the most comedic lines Raven has.
Raven is hilarious. I have to tell
That
you.
I'll have to disagree with, because I believe that both Yuri and Rita have delivered some zingers.
Well, no, they deliver zingers. The person who makes the most jokes is Raven. The person you're most likely to be laughing at is Raven.
Rita.
I feel kind of bad for Raven because
I laughed way more at Rita than I did at Raven.
Oh, I laughed so hard at Raven. Well, it seemed like most of
Well.
Yuri and Rita's zingers that they delivered were directed at Raven. Like, he was... Like, Carol was the group punching bag until Raven
Raven showed up.
joined, and then Raven became the group punching bag. You know how every group of friends has to have a bitch? Raven's their bitch.
Although, Yuri and... Well, that may be true of Rita, but Yuri tend to be sarcastic towards everything.
Well, yeah, that's true.
well, we'll leave that for the people that are playing to find out. But Raven is just
the best dirty old man ever.
yes, and is he not like the best character in the game? Can I say that? Do we have a consensus that he's our favorite? Now we're being completely biased here.
Now,
by the way.
it took me through most of the game for him to become my favorite.
True.
Yeah,
But
he
you
wasn't...
give him time. He's
But
not
he
an
did
instant.
become my favorite character,
He
yes.
wasn't my favorite at first either. Like, at first I really, really liked Carol. Like, Carol was actually earning his way to be my favorite
Rita
character.
was my favorite for
Yuri
most of the
was my
stretch of the
favorite.
game.
And then something happens and Raven is suddenly
Yes,
everybody's
Raven's my
favorite,
favorite
character.
It's just he's awesome. He's got great lines. He's funny. He's dirty. He's just he's Raven.
Oh man, there were
He's
so
nothing like a writing desk.
There were so many times that when I was playing that game with Barry and Eric, that, you know, something would happen. There would be some skit, and Raven would make some comment to Rita, like the moment where he's talking about how, oh, he's just so old, he just needs to go lay down, and Rita's like, well, why don't you go to bed then? And, you know, he makes some sort of wise-ass comment to her about, oh, but darling, I always sleep so much better with a little company. And she just, like, clobbers him. And, you know, we're just sitting there watching it going, oh, man, that's so Raven.
Yeah, that's a joke I heard a lot. That's.
I had thought of that joke, but this is the first time I've actually heard it.
Yes, we would say it, as terrible as it was.
Now, one of the best things I actually have to admit about Vesperia that I was surprised about was how adept and good the English voice cast turned out to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was very surprising.
I think we interviewed Troy Baker,
Yeah.
who did the voice of Yuri Lowell, and he did a fantastic job.
Oh, yes.
You know, everyone really did a great job. Like, there's not a bad voice on this thing.
I'm not going to say that it wasn't 100% free of cringy voice acting moments, but I'm also very nitpicky.
Well,
And the main cast, too.
And the main cast, though, was very, very good. By the standard of English dubs in video games, that
Yeah.
was, like, ridiculously
all,
high.
all the voice acting cringing happened to characters that were, like, side characters.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it happened to, like, the common rabble. It didn't happen to, like, your main named characters.
Yeah, for real.
Well, except for Alexei. Alexei kind of got hokey every now and then.
But Alexei's job was to be kind of hokey now and then. Like,
Yeah.
And I've heard much worse villains. I thought Alexei did a fine villain voice.
Well,
That's
speaking
true.
of spoilers, Basil.
Can we do the spoilers yet?
Well, we can, but if Basil's going to get on our backs, getting on my back for Raven joining your party, then I think blowing the top that Alexei's a villain is a pretty huge one to drop on.
Yeah, especially since he doesn't necessarily look like a villain until about halfway through, but once you're halfway through, like, it's so obvious.
They're
that
not
he's
playing
the
it, they don't even remember who Alexei is by the time they get there.
Though remember the silver hair.
Well, there you go.
Now you've
Okay,
done it.
this is something else that Vesperia does, guys. You know how most RPGs throw one silver-haired pretty boy at you, and that's how you know who the bad guy is? Vesperia throws two silver-haired pretty boys at you.
We're talking about Duke.
Yes, we're talking about Duke.
I love Duke, and I love his English voice actor because he always plays these really deep, badass roles.
Yes, like, Duke is another random silver-haired pretty boy who just kind of shows up periodically, and sometimes he helps you, sometimes he doesn't. You don't know. It's Duke.
He's cryptic.
He's cryptic, has a cool sword, and says things that sound very, very...
Cool.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Duke. I'm fucking awesome.
And
That's what he's like.
But, you know, before we go into spoilers, and we will, you know, Vesperia is a really, really fun game. Yeah, we all really, really enjoyed it. You know, it does have a couple of missed opportunities, but in order to explain those, you had to go into spoilers.
And so we will do this now.
But you still can find it in most game shops. You can find it online pretty easily. It's not hard to find yet. But it's still usually running about $60. It is only on 360.
Oh, I want to put the offer out there. If you don't have a 360 and you can't play Vesperia, come over to my house. I'll let you in. I'll make tea and cake while you play Vesperia, and I'll just watch you and enjoy it.
We'll be posting that address at the end of the podcast.
Anyways,
No, we won't.
the arcade version of 360 is only $200. Spend some money. And now, for a musical interlude before we go into spoilers.
Riley.
Warning. We're back here in Spoilerland. So if you don't want actual honest-to-God spoilers of major events, stop the podcast and go buy the game. You've been warned.
For example, Rita's totally gay, but only when she's aged up to 18.
Yes, and Carol's actually a boy, not a girl.
Oh, damn it! There was
God.
trickery afoot.
But you can put Carol in a dress.
Okay, this is seriously, like, I have to talk about this moment, because this was the best moment in a video game that I have seen in a long time. Like, this scene, like, after this scene was over, I had to stop the game, turn it off, and go cry. And then come back to it. Which totally nullified my crying, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyhow, like, oh man, I was so freaked out about this. But let me start with Captain Schwan.
Captain Swan!
Captain Schwan isn't, like, we were all sitting here joking, laughing, saying, oh, Raven's the best character in the game. Lies. Captain Schwan is the best character in the game. And you know what the best thing about Captain Schwan is?
He's Raven?
The best thing about Captain Schwan is that you don't know who Captain Schwan is for, like, a bajillion years in the game. Like, you hear passingly, you know, when Yuri first gets carted off to jail, you hear that he got carted off to jail by the Schwan Brigade, who is under Captain Schwan. You hear Yuri complain that Captain Schwan basically does nothing, that his men always do the work.
But he's very well loved.
Yeah, but he's very well loved by his men. You also hear Captain Kumor say that, you know, oh, that Schwan is such an upstart, I hate him. And, you know, and later, like, I played this game of Spot the Schwan.
Yeah.
Which is, like, after you go through this one dungeon, like, the Schwan Brigade, you know, who's been chasing you ever since you left Zathis, shows up, and they finally capture you, and they turn to salute their captain, and you see Schwan's arm for, like, a second as he lifts it up to give, like, the command to take you in. Like, that's it. It's literally, like, a second. If you blink, you'll miss it. But it's there, and it's great. And then, like, they're in Heliord later on, and, you know, things are going on with the Blastia and Heliord, and they've got to solve them, and they do. They manage to solve them, and as, you know, your characters are like, okay, we saved the day, time to go back to the inn, you know, it pans up, and you see Captain Schwan standing in a window, and he just turns and walks away.
Well, like, sort of a silhouette of...
Back,
See
mostly.
his back, yeah.
Well, yeah, you see his side. I know, I saw it like 3 times, because I'm obsessive like that. But anyway, and then later in Heliord, as you know, the princess is like, no, I want to continue my journey, and you know, Commandant Alexei is like, well, okay, you, Mr. Yuri Lowell, you used to be a knight. Will you continue to watch out after the princess as she carries on around the world?
Which seems irresponsible until...
Which seems irresponsible at first, until you realize that as soon as Yuri left, you know, Alexei turns to his back and goes, I have a job for you, and Captain Schwan walks out from behind the thing. It's, again, only for like a second. You only see him for just like this tiniest little...
I noticed that one pretty clearly myself, but...
Yeah.
But you never see all of them. You
Yeah,
only
you-
see bits and pieces of them.
Until...
You never see all of them. Now, while all this is going on, you have some other things that are going on in the game. That if you don't... That since you're playing the game, like, straightforward the first time, you won't notice that all these things are going on. But the first thing is... the very beginning of the game, Raven is sitting in a jail cell next to Yuri. Raven, Commandant Alexei comes to get Raven out of the jail after Raven and Yuri have been talking, and Raven's the one who gives Yuri the key to get out of jail. You know, you go on forward, and it's Raven that sent them to the shrine that eventually got them caught.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like you go to the forest where Raven eventually joins your party. And, you know, as you're going to the forest, Raven's standing on top of some roof going, well, this is convenient, and goes on after you. After that, things sort of kind of drop off as Raven's actually in your party, but you get to one point where they're having to get through a bunch of knights, and they actually come across the Schwan Brigade, and it's this really great scene that's just so easy to miss if you don't already know what's coming. And, they're freaking out. Raven's freaking out in particular that they're stuck there. And so finally Raven's just like, well, fine, we'll see if this works. And he calls the Schwann Brigade to attention, and the Schwann Brigade comes to attention.
Wondering where the voice of their commander is.
And Yuri and friends all run out, they run away, and there's some laughing that they can't believe that the Schwann Brigade's that dumb that they fell for that. And then later on, as you're playing the game, something happens and Estelle is like, oh, I can't go on, I'm terrible, or something or other. and suddenly Estelle gets kidnapped. It's the only time in the game she gets kidnapped, but she's, the Colette, so she gets kidnapped at least once. It's a requirement. And it's very heavily applied that it's Raven that kidnaps her, as both of them, who are your two best healers, by the way, leave the party.
Carol can heal a little. Yeah, man.
Nice aid smash.
Yeah, nice aid smash. Nice aid smash is no love shot.
And Yuri gets one if you get the right altered art, but that's by no means automatic that you'll receive it.
But anyhow, and so Estelle's been captured, Raven's missing. You go to the Holy Shrine of Bactian, you have this little thing where Alexei reveals that he's basically the big bad guy and that he's been wanting this whole time to use Estelle's power to further his evil goals.
I'm an evil bastard.
And then he's basically like, but I don't have time to deal with you now. Schwann shall take care of you. And they send Schwann in to fight you, and it's Raven. Schwann has been with you the whole fucking time.
It's Raven with a very nice haircut.
Yes.
Now that's a Raven.
Yes, that. Oh,
that's
man.
That's so Schwann, you mean.
Like, that's the moment where people just...
My jaw dropped, man.
Yeah,
and the whole thing, you told me that one of the best lines was the attention, that became like 100 times greater, because...
Yeah, like, oh man, that is, you just, playing the game, you just don't see it coming, and then you do at the same time.
You know awesome. Something's up, and you're kind of connecting the dots, and you see that, and you go, oh shit.
Yeah,
yes.
Like, I figured by that point that Raven might have been working for Alexei, but I didn't...
Didn't think he was Schwann.
I didn't think he was Schwann. Oh.
And that's how Captain Schwann saved Christmas.
And then Captain Schwann, in the end, decides that he actually really liked Yuri and really wanted to help, and he didn't know that Alexei was gonna
do that.
Become buttfuck evil. And
he seemed like such a nice evil overlord for so long.
And so, in the end, he actually sacrifices himself so that you can escape. So that Yuri and gang can get out of there and they can go rescue Estelle.
And then he shows up in the very next scene right
That's
after.
That's right!
Which I'm glad I kept playing.
After his tragic death, I had to turn the game off and cry. And then I came back, and the very next scene, he's like, "Oh, hey guys!
Hey guys, what's going on? Where are we going?"
and then they proceed to kick him. They proceed to kick his ass.
Y'all didn't have the worst part. Mine was 'cause I was playing over at Douglas's house.
Yeah.
And I had bought some costumes because you can buy certain things like levels and gold and costumes online using actual Microsoft points, which is a point of some contention whether you should do it or not. I said, screw it, I want some different costumes. Which I'll explain why later. And so, I moved everything over to the, to my memory card to take it over to. Little did I know, while I was doing something else, Douglas had went and bought some gold, for...
The hot springs.
For the hot springs.
Oh, the hot springs are so great. Manly Musk.
Well, and as it turns out, when I went home, I didn't realize that Douglas had did this, and I couldn't play my game because it thought it had bought the gold on my account. But I had never bought that gold. But it thought it did. So it wouldn't play on my 360. And I couldn't continue on the game. And it was like the most frustrating thing ever. Because this is like, 40 hours into the game at least. Like it's you're approaching the 2/3 point here, or even further really. I think possibly 3/4.
Yeah, the second third goes on forever.
But and I couldn't play for another week until I went back to Douglas's house and continue. when I found out that's what happened.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And so, like, you know, it was one of the things. It was like I wasn't sure what's going on with Raven or Schwann or anything until a whole week later on.
Yeah.
So
Tune in next week.
That sucked.
Well, oh man, Raven, I love him so much. One thing I am sad about through that entire game, whenever Estelle goes to high five Raven, Raven starts the high five. He's all for the high five. And Estelle comes up to give him a high five back. He goes, "Great! Now how about a hug?" And holds out his arms really wide. And the entire game, Estelle won't hug him.
That bitch.
I know. Like,
First,
I would have hugged him.
He's totally gonna grab her ass.
Well,
but...
yeah. But it's Raven. I mean, come on. The guy peeped at the hot springs.
Well, Carol wanted to.
Everyone wanted to except for Yuri.
Because he didn't need to. Anyways.
He was too awesome.
Well, he probably just could have asked.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You just had to walk over to the women's side because as the game taught me, apparently no one doesn't care when Yuri walks over to the women's side.
You know, unfortunately, this game was, in a lot of senses, what I really couldn't mention before, I felt was a game of missed opportunities. Especially in the third act, as it were.
Yeah, the third act, they felt like they kind of dropped the ball. Like, the first act is good. The first act is really good, but it's kind of standard good JRPG. The second act is really brilliant. That's where all this, like, stuff with the Schwann happens. That's where all the stuff with Yuri and Estelle happens. You know, that's where all the stuff with Judy and her revelations happens. The second act is really phenomenal, and the end of the second act set itself up to be the end of the game, but for some reason they just went on anyway.
Just about every Tales game kind of does, and the end, oh no, we keep going.
Like, just to give you an idea of how we'll refer to it as acts, we feel that Act 1 is the start of the game to the point where you actually retrieve the Aqua Blastia.
Well, that's actually officially is the acts.
I mean, the 3 mandatory achievements are set up for the 3/3 of the game.
Yeah.
And then the second one is actually beating Alexei.
Yeah.
And then the third one is actually
beating the game.
Duke.
Yeah, Duke, who's kind of... Oh, God. Beating Duke. When you beat the game and you beat Duke, like, the whole reason you're going after... You're having to fight Duke is because Alexei, in his stupidness, unleashed this giant space octopus that's trying to eat the planet. And
Alexei broke the universe.
Yeah, Alexei broke the universe, and now Yuri with Rita and Estelle and Raven and all of them have figured out a way to try to fix the universe. Except Duke has also figured out a way to fix the universe, but Duke's way involves killing everybody. So,
only all the humans.
Yeah, only all the humans. So Yuri and gang have to go stop Duke. And at the end of it, like, they actually make friends with Duke, and, like, Yuri says, "Hey, Duke, I'll see you around." And Duke gives Yuri this look like, "You bastard."
And then at the end, Duke gets to play with all the monsters and gets a pet squirrel.
Yes. It's like, the thing that I kept thinking, it looked like Duke had this internal monologue, as if to say, "Ah, yes, I nearly sacrificed all of humanity because I forgot friendship. Friendship was the answer. Thank you, Yuri. I feel like a douche."
I just always felt at the end when you see the little dragon flying by and the little flying by Pandai with Duke looking up at him, I just had a feeling it was going, fuckers. Fuckers.
And, you know, through the full third hack game, I never felt like Duke should have been a villain.
No.
Never once. Like, even though they said he's trying to kill humanity, I felt that was weird and silly, and it didn't make any sense.
Like, it didn't make much sense with his character. You kind of got that Duke, especially, there's a lot of stuff in Vesperia that's plot that you're not going to know is plot unless you, like, stay in every inn randomly after every major plot event. Because there's just so much stuff like, okay, I just got out of Dongrest. Now I have to immediately walk back into Dongrest before I take 5 steps in the opposite direction. Okay, now I've just slept at the inn in Capanor, so I better go all the way back to Halur, which is 3 towns away, and across 2 dungeons, sleep in that inn so that I'll get another scene. And it's kind of...
Basically, after anything happens, if you don't have a strategy guide, go back everywhere.
Well, no, even the strategy guide doesn't help, because the official strategy guide doesn't tell you where half the plot points are.
Huh.
Like, it says, maybe you might want to remember to stay at this inn later. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It not like, yeah, you better come back to this inn 5 times.
And also, a lot of these are things that actually should have been incorporated to the main story.
Yeah. The thing, like, with Duke, like, there's I think, a total of 7 scenes that
There
you
are
can...
several. I mean, I ran into a few, and I know I missed a bunch.
There's like a total of 7 with Duke where you just happen onto him and he talks and you get a little bit more understanding about his character. And again, it kind of harkens back to the friendship thing and the needing of the other people. Again, like, you know, Flynn could bear things that Yuri couldn't, and Yuri could bear things that Flynn couldn't. You kind of got the impression that Duke just tried to bear the weight of the entire world on his shoulders, and he just kind of crumpled under it. Like, he just decided that he couldn't carry all of it, and so this is what he had to sacrifice.
Now, the one I really hated was Jaeger. Jaeger was so totally, like, in the end, underused.
Yeah, like...
Especially, like, him and Raven.
Yeah, him and Raven have this huge backstory that you can vaguely see.
If you go to the right side quest.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you're like, there's a point where, like, we're talking about Jaeger and Raven's like, but I'll be the one to end the last blow.
Like, if you don't do all the side quests, you don't know why Raven says that. And then when you come time to fight Jaeger, you don't even have to have Raven in your party.
Like, yeah, and once they beat him, Raven doesn't do anything. They just go, oh, well, he's dead, let's keep going.
He does do a little bit, like, with Gosh and Droit afterwards. Like, if you go back to where Jaeger died later, and fight Gosh and Droit, you know, who are the 2 that could potentially be Raven's kids, or potentially Jaeger's kids, you don't know.
But that's not the main story.
No, it's not the main story
You have
at
to
all.
go back and do it. I mean,
Jaeger's twin lowly assassins.
Yeah, who are either Jaeger's kids or Raven's kids. We don't know. We don't actually know if they're even Casey's kids.
We don't know that they're anybody's kids.
If you play playing the game, you'd probably know who Casey even is.
Yeah, that's true.
You could play through the whole game and have no clue who that is.
And then what the hell was up with the frickin' 4 elemental spirits?
Oh god, that was a total ball drop.
Like, apparently the best way to fix the problem with the Autophagus or anything, now that you got to this point, is...
The giant space octopus.
Space octopus is apparently get rid of Blastia and have everything controlled by the 4 elemental spirits.
Which kind of makes sense.
Which means they take this really interesting system they have for magic that's a little bit different, neat twist on everything, and then shove it away for a really crappy generic system.
Well, it was kind of destroying the environment.
Yeah, like the whole premise behind the game was that the air system was bad. It didn't really work. They needed to get a system that worked, and they used Estelle's power to make a system that worked. And so that I could kind of see, but it was, again, like, it was just a case of, like, they dropped the ball. Like, they could have done so much more with it. They could have gone so much more into depth with it. There's a little mini-game that you had to play during one incident that they really should have had you either do it all the time or not have done it at all.
Oh, yeah. So, spoilers. Estelle, totally a princess. Just go.
That's not really a spoiler. It's so obvious that she's a princess from the very moment you meet her.
Yeah.
Like, the reveal comes when they're like, oh, Estelle's a princess, and the only one surprised is Carol.
Yuri's like, yeah.
I figured. Even Rita was like, yeah, I figured.
But I don't know, just like, you know, I can see like them wanting to create a new system, but then they go, and I'll call you, was it Efreet? You know, for the fire. I'm like, could you not have thought of something original? Something that sounds cool, that's not a Final Fantasy summon?
Well, Efreet's not originally a Final Fantasy summon.
Efreet's been in Tales games for years and years and years. In fact, if you watch what she did, she named them after the Tales summon spirits. You know, it's based. Tales of Vesperia may as well be how did all the summons come into being. You
know, well, in that case, they should have been offered them as summons.
Yeah, they should have done they should have done more with it.
We've been a little late in the game to add in a new game mechanic, but still.
It was latent. It was pretty late in Symphonia when they added in the summons.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I never played Symphonia.
Well, they could have done was just retooled Rita's magic
Yeah.
in the final battle to
Reflect
reflect summon, since they were gotten rid of all the Blastia. Or most of
Spoilers.
it.
Tidal
Or
Wave
were
is your
doing it.
best spell ever.
Actually, Meteor Storm is your best spell ever. But again, in order to get Meteor Storm, you have to. I think it's after you fight Flynn in the Colosseum in Nordopolica. You have to go back to Ospio, walk through the library of Ospio, and then once you've walked through the library of Ospio, you have to then you get a book, and you have to take the book to Capanor, and then you have a scene between Rita and Judy, and then you have to later in the game, I think after Miorzo, you have to stay at the inn in the other port town, then have another scene between Rita and Judy, and then at the very end of the game, you have to stay in the inn 3 times to get a scene between Rita and Judy, where you find out that Judy is actually the daughter of Hermes, and Rita then learns Meteor Storm.
And this would be a perfect example of the trope. You should have bought the strategy guide, but a lot of this stuff isn't in the strategy guide.
That was not in the strategy guide.
So GameFAQs is your friend.
GameFAQs is your friend.
But, despite all these complaints and how many drop chances, and there's probably more that I could think of that I just haven't, it's still a really, really good game, and it's a great game in spite of it. It just, for me, it takes a definite A game into,
an A- almost.
Yeah, for me, it's like an A-, but it could have been like an A++++.
Yeah, really, the best... I can't get over how well these characters were done. You can sit for hours and hours and hours on each character. The things that we've said in this podcast already are basically just a brief gleaning of what these characters are really like.
Barely scratched the surface.
I think in the end, I still think I like Lost Odyssey a little bit more, but mostly because I think it was a more streamlined story. And there wasn't quite so many... It did have its own share of drop chances, just not as many.
Well, Vesperia has a good story. It has a... I would say that if with a few, revisions that maybe they'll do when they make it into an anime eventually...
It probably will be.
When they make it into an anime eventually... I think it could become a great story.
Okay. Just Namco Bandai, if you ever listen to this, make Alexa your actual final villain.
Really. I mean, you really set him up to be the villain.
Have him be, consumed by the Autophagos or something.
Have, you can even have them fight Duke. Then Alexa needs to drop down out of the Autophagos with, a space octopus on his head going, I will kill you all!
No, that's too much
I actually would have really liked if we could actually have fought the Autophagos, because as it was, you fought Duke, and then you magically plot scene to the Autophagos, and I thought it would have been more satisfying to actually, fight that
so
shit.
in the anime, have them fight the Autophagos. I mean, you can do that in anime. It could be the big, same kind of scene, but make it look like they actually are fighting it. Evil space octopus. What the hell, guys? But, yeah, there's been crazier bad guys in the universe.
Well, I probably should have mentioned this in the part before the spoilers, but one thing that, people have said, well, why Vesperia? Why that word? And the reason, and this is my crackpot theory reason,
listen to her,
is Vesperia is obviously based off the Latin word Vesper Vespis, which means the night sky. And one of the major things in the game, for one, the night sky in the game looks really, really pretty. They spent a lot of work on making those stars look gorgeous. The brightest star in the sky in this game is called Vesperia, and there's a little legend that goes along with it that Estelle will prattle off at one point or another. And the characters name their guild Brave Vesperia, but the real reason that I think that they had Vesperia, the night sky, be such a reoccurring theme was because of the Autophagos. When the Autophagos finally shows up, it just covers the night sky. And even during the day, it still looks like night where the Autophagos is. And I think that that's really the reason why they tied it all in like that.
Yeah.
Which works. And as the Autophagos closes in upon the sky, I feel it's now time to close in onto this podcast with a giant octopus head.
So,
Worked for Lovecraft.
how many awesomes, Basil?
I'm going to give it an A- out of awesomes.
How many awesomes, Kevin?
Most dirty old awesome man out of awesome.
I give it a whole fucking shit ton of awesomes. Because I love this game and just thinking about it makes me orgasm.
Metric or English shit tons?
Metric shit tons.
Okay.
Metric.
That's like 200 shit pounds more.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, this game. It's so good. I just want to play this game over and over and over again. Oh, yeah.
You don't know how much a pain it is to get Douglas to play other games.
Like,
Persona.
I sit there and go, why am I playing this game? I could be playing Vesperia right now. And my offer is legit. If you can find where I live, you can come over to my house and you can play Vesperia on my 360 and I'll make you tea and cake. I just have to be able to watch you play.
Okay, well, yes, that's the deal, but we're never giving you the address. Good night, world.